There are a couple of others, like for example, I've got one of the area where I live in Grenoble in France, which was taken by a popular, but he found another way of getting access to that and purchasing it through him. But yeah, I mean they're beautiful. There's some really different, settings, and they're quite stunning. We need to make more versions of these rooms for different locations.
You got to get
I
Brooklyn
would
here,
love
man.
to be able to. Yeah, there you go. I would love to be able to present a 360 photo or video in a space like this. But I don't know. I would imagine there's a lot of technicality into implementing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that difficult. The bigger problem is that subtly the lighting that we baked into the room is based upon the outside photo. So if you change the outside photo, you get a weirdness because without knowing it, a lot of the floor colors and the wall colors, and even the beams, have got a slight green sheen to them that match the lighting of the photo. And if you swap the photo out, it would just look wrong. So the best way to do it is create a dull skybox and do the lighting with the dull skybox and then change out the photo. It's not as nice. It doesn't result in a beautiful light setup, but it means that you don't get the glaringly weird stuff that if you changed out the lighting and there was no green, you wouldn't notice the oddity of the lack of green.
Gotcha. Yeah, I noticed, and I was really kind of taken aback at the detail that was put in. I noticed on the photos on the gallery, you can see a slight reflection from the room itself, the lighting. You look at it from different angles, that all changes. It really implements and brings you to that real space.
Exactly.
Which I think is wonderful without being overboard. Nobody wants to look at a picture with a glare on it. So
that's exactly right. If you went to one of the rooms and it had the wrong reflection, which is what would happen if you changed out the image, then you'd notice that very quickly.
Yeah. This is something I want to myself personally looking at doing in the future, creating anamorphic mapped images, 3D spaces, and I've been playing around with it quite a bit, getting better. But there's a lot of technicality, really as a whole. But I think the implementation here is really wonderful, and it brings the room to life. So it's great.
Yeah. But when Wendy, Mrs. Cummings, made the actual room, she's got pretty good at it. Here, if we go here. This is our reception lobby for the business. I'll be able to show you something about the skybox.
Okay. Let's go check this out.
So let's just wait for it to load when it comes.
There we go.
I think specifically the reflection in the windows in this room is relatively white due to the skybox.
So this is like a different location. We're like in the Alps or something?
Yeah. This is where I live. So,
I just heard music. Where did that music come from?
Oh, wow.
Oh, there's a room right here. There's music playing.
Yeah, when the skybox comes in, there's a mountain over there where I live.
That's cool. Yeah, it's pretty.
And this is the global city, which is beautiful. In the French Alps, these are the mountains, some of the ski mountains over there. Over there, you've got in the distance, and I live on that mountain right there, on the hillside, going up towards the
You live on a mountain?
Yeah.
That's
I've got
crazy.
a secret evil mountaintop lair.
There you go. That's great.
He's off the
No,
grid.
I love this. I've not seen the skybox. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking about that the other day. Like, how cool would it be to look out and be like, "Hey, wait, that's where I actually live."
That's why I bought this one. I couldn't resist.
Yeah,
I have to get this.
Yeah,
I agree. I would have too.
Can you tie these your metaverses to the skyscraper? You got to be the business or enterprise.
I've got to reset my room
again?
boundary. This thing's being goofy.
Yeah.
You got to
didn't
be a
hear that.
business or an enterprise to tie these metaverses to a skyscraper.
The skyscraper is probably going to be linked to both business and enterprise, but there might be a cutoff point on the pricing where over a certain price of skyscraper, you've got to be an enterprise, which will.
Okay.
Can you say that one more time? Sorry, you were cutting out on me.
Yeah. So it's not defined, but it's very likely that skyscrapers will be available primarily to enterprise, with businesses able to take them under a certain price. So the business plan will be available for skyscrapers that are lower than a certain price. We haven't worked out exactly what that is, but that's probably the setup. We'll be working on that after we've released the storefronts. And even though I shouldn't say anything about the storefronts, it's very likely that you'll be seeing the first storefronts for some of our enterprise clients coming within the next week to 2 weeks, 10 days.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So that should start
Nice.
appearing. And then we'll probably launch them from both the high end, so the enterprise can get access to it in business plan. But then the lower price ones will start enabling full premium, so that people can start exploring that. It's very likely we'll set up a template room for the storefront first, so people can start kitting out their storefronts in prep for when they can buy them, and then they'll be able to tie the storefront that they purchased to a storefront template that they've made on one of their metaverses.
I got a question about the
Will we
storefront.
be like?
I think
Sorry.
I was just going to ask real quick.
Put his hand up.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
He's muted.
You're muted.
But
Oh yeah, you're unmuted. A lot of you guys are muted.
I can't hear you, Bang Tang.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Can I ask a
You're
question?
unmuted.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jester.
Me?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jester.
Are you gonna have like pool tables and things to do in here?
Yeah, so
Dark.
that's coming a little bit further. At the moment, we're still building up the core tech that allows the interactions to take place. Once we've done that, we'll be looking into creating, interactions within those spaces. So you can say, I want a meeting room, but I also want to have a casual, like, playroom or games room or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Arian?
I got a.
Yes, I have a question. Okay, so you know how you can teleport to your apartments? But so what if you reserve a spot at an apartment, but you have to log off or teleport to another house for whatever reason? Is there a way you can get back to that reserved spot? Because I mean, you're not going to know where it is once you leave, right?
It's a good idea. We need to implement something of that nature. I haven't worked out what.
You got to go inside the store, bro.
couldn't even do it.
Go inside the store and then come outside the store and then check in your doors and it'll be there.
Yeah, so that's
As long
a
as
cool
you don't go
workaround.
too many spaces.
Yeah.
But I got a question about the storefronts.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
will we be able to put, like, people who get the storefronts, are they going to have advertisements all alongside the glass windows, or is it just the front?
You're gonna. Well, let me not answer that until you see it. You'll see it soon, and you'll know.
Okay.
So that was
because we're still determining it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was where my question was coming. Is will we get a preview of these storefronts before they go live, or as they go live, or
as they go live? The
how are
enterprise clients that will be having storefronts are going to launch first. You'll be able to see how they work, and that will give you a sense of what the storefront can do.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Dr.
Thank
Sean?
So with these storefronts, do they have to sell actual products to the people in the real world, or can they sell products to people in the metaverse world?
So at the moment, we don't have the ability to sell products inside the metaverse because there's nothing that you could sell, maybe an image or something like that, but that we don't have the ability to hand that over. So that would be in the future, but we want to do that. That is absolutely a key part of, we want to be able to allow people to do 3D objects, or maybe even, let people create apartments. And once they've been approved by us, those could go into a store that people were selling, or avatars, or, or clothes, or kit, or a million other things, badges.
Correct.
NFTs,
exactly.
whatever.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's on the list. At the moment, we cannot, due to the terms and conditions of Oculus, we're not allowed to let somebody sell a physical good in the app, but we are allowed to link to a web page where people can sell physical goods. So that is the solution. Good. Now, obviously, I think as soon as we start getting that popular and we start seeing that people are using that as the solution to sell through the metaverse, I'm going to be taking that to Oculus and saying, hey guys, look, all we're doing is creating a hoop for people to jump through. Can't we find a solution that allows us to remove that hoop? That would be the obvious way to go forward. So that's going to be the conversation. But I think we need to show them, what's happening first, how people are using it, and what the steps are, and then we'll be able to have that conversation and say, right, let's find a way to break down these barriers, because proper commerce inside a metaverse has to happen with as few barriers as possible. I mean, Amazon one-click buy was successful for a reason. We need to do the same sort of thing here. But so we're very much aware of that problem. We're going to be working on it. We're just going to have to go step by step through the process.
So in the future, again, if we wanted to, buy a storefront and then sell something in the metaverse, again, all future, like you said, some clothes, or can somebody own like a bicycle shop or like a car shop once all these things are implemented, and maybe sell vehicles? Can they sell bicycles to people for metacoins?
Yeah, so the way that would work is probably, again, in steps. The first step would be for us to implement some technology like a bike. And once we've implemented the technology for a bike, then we can let other people create skins for that bike. Or we can let other people create different versions of a bike that does different stuff. That would be the first step. But it'd be interesting to work out what you guys want to do. So then you would create
the bike. Yeah, so you would create the bike, and then we would modify the bike. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Would it be hard to modify the bike? Do we have to be like a coder or something? Or is it going to be like...
No, the whole point is to remove the need for people to code. Content creators shouldn't have to code. Now, obviously, some people will want to code and want to be able to do stuff of that nature. But the coding is where it gets complex. Our goal is to simplify it, very much like how we've done with these spaces. Creating the space. There's a lot of people that can create a 3D space, but there's a hell of a lot more people who can customize the 3D space that's already been created. And I think that's like our principle is, how do we get this to as many people as possible? How do we make it as easy for everybody to access the content as possible? And how
that was my number one draw here, is that like we don't have to build and create these worlds, but we can just log in, upload our content, and it works immediately. It's amazing. I don't think there's any other app
that's
like
been
that.
one of the key. That's one of the key decisions that we made at the beginning. Is a lot of companies are trying to do stuff like Horizon Worlds, amazing tech, very cool tech, but way too complex for the average person. Even I don't know how to do that stuff. You got to learn a whole program to be able to do something that still doesn't result in as nice an environment as this, because this is more beautiful than you can create with Horizon Worlds, but it requires less effort.
The benefit of this is just the body language. We can see each other's body language, which makes it like so much better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that's the key thing, and it's one of the things that we're going to focus on, especially when we do stuff like bikes, as an example, or skateboards, or hovercraft or rocket
So-
ships or whatever. You know, allowing
If
you
we
guys
were
to then
to
take that and customize it is going to be key.
like a customization, would that be something like, could we do something like maybe this bicycle can get you somewhere, maybe like a boost to it? It can maybe get you somewhere a little bit quicker. So therefore, maybe it would cost a little bit more than a bike that would say go a bit slower. You know, are those some
Yeah,
things
the
that could
problem
maybe
with
be
that
implemented
concept is
into that?
everybody would want the one that goes faster.
Right. Yeah.
So you'd end up with
Right.
everybody selling only the fast one. So there has to be,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
a little bit of. I think you create one type of bike, and that bike has a functionality. So, for example,
Yeah.
it's not
Okay.
necessarily going to be speed, but it's going to be one of. I'm going to be really stupid here, so don't take me at this. But just as an example, you got downhill mountain bikes, which is what we do out here. They can go
Mhm.
down a hill
Yeah.
really fast, really well. They survive, huge impacts. But then you got road bikes on the Tour de France, and they go along the roads and obviously can go faster. So in that scenario, you've got two different types. We would enable you to sell one of each type. Both of them have value, but both of them have a different type of value for a different person. I think that's the
That makes
approach
sense,
that
yeah.
we take.
Are cars
And
coming?
same with helicopters,
Oh, you were about
cars
to say
and things.
something.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, obviously we want to have everything. Whatever you can do or imagine doing from Grand Theft Auto or something like that is what we'd like
Right.
to be able to put in here.
Spaceships.
So whether that's helicopters, spaceships,
Mhm.
everything.
I'm,
But
I'll just be running people over. No.
You go right through them.
but we got it. But we got to find the right. We got to find the right way to do it. And it could be that some people don't want to be in a shard that has cars. They don't want to be run over by somebody as they walk down the street. But then again, maybe we can have a shard that does enable cars, or we can have
It's
a place in the world
spoken
where
like a
cars are
true Grand
enabled
Theft
in another
Auto
place.
player.
Have you
Yeah.
seen the Matrix experience? That new Matrix game? Have you seen that with the Unreal Engine?
Yeah.
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 I was thinking, is that going to be anything similar to this?
So the difference is that runs not on a Quest, that runs on a PlayStation that has a huge amount of power compared to a Quest. We have end goals that would allow us to achieve something like that, but that level of quality is simply not possible on a Quest.
Okay.
Because if you think about a PlayStation 5, a PlayStation 5 only has to render 30 frames per second. We have to render 72 frames per second or more, or 90, on a smaller chip that's made for a mobile phone, whereas the one in the PlayStation is a gaming console chip. It's made for gaming console.
Supercomputer at this point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Exactly.
that, so speaking of that though, looking towards the future, it's like the PSVR 2 is going to be coming out. Is this something that you guys with FTL would be looking at in the future? Are you looking at other,
We're looking at
other
all
adaptations, all platforms?
We're looking at all
That would
platforms.
be amazing.
Yeah, we want to get this out on HTC Vive, on Steam, on PlayStation, on Xbox, on mobile phones. We want it on everything, but we want to keep the VR immersive world the primary one, because we feel that gives the most interaction experience.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think the timeline on that would be?
We've already got the HTC Vive version up and running and working, and we've had it working for years. We've just chosen not to launch it for own personal reasons, because managing new platforms is expensive. So every new platform requires, nearly a new coder to look after it. And
I have a friend that has a Vive, and he's ready to go buy a Quest just to play.
Yeah.
So
this is a great world.
Yeah.
So
we definitely want to do that. 2 seconds. We definitely want to do that, but it is something that we have to take with a bit of consideration, because you can easily get to a stage where you've released on 15 platforms, and then suddenly you've got to support 15 platforms, and you spend all your time not making features, but making fixes for the platforms that get updated. So that becomes a real expense, and therefore we've got to make sure that when we do that, it's worth it.
So the Vive, I'm guessing that's on Steam. Is that correct?
It would be on Steam, yeah.
Or is it? Okay.
Yeah, but it's also on the Vive portal. And there's going to be many different stores, and we'll be on a lot of them.
Okay.
Time and money. Right? Time and money.
Always.
Lots of time and money.
Yeah, lots of time, lots of money.
Yeah. Understand.
I got one question. I was
Cool. Should we
on.
jump somewhere else? Go on.
Yeah, we could do that. Okay, I got a question. Okay, I was on YouTube yesterday and I typed in Infiniverse, and it seems like 3 years ago there was like a whole different type of thing going. Does that relate to this?
No, that's a different company.
Oh,
We didn't
okay.
even know about them until we'd launched this. We didn't, we were doing a pre-beta. We didn't think that we were trying to create a brand or anything like that. We just wanted a place to open a door from our dev portal, DevZone, and we just created Infiniverse without thinking and put it up there, and then it became a hit. And it was like, okay, that was a bit late. Now we have to go with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we found them too, but it seems like they're dead looking at it because that's not the right one. Sorry, it changed. I was looking for somebody else's.
Yours has to be huge.
Yeah.
That's another feature I like is being able to throw away the content, whether it's like a picture that you're done with, just literally throwing it away.
Like a basketball, right?
Just hilariously satisfying.
Well,
You just shot a 3-pointer.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll use those when I go into Grand Central. There's a lot of little kids. Yeah, I interact with them and whatnot. I know they're in here just having fun, but a lot of times when they get a little too rambunctious, I'll just pull a random room out and throw it and tell them, "Hey, you point at that, shoot at it."
That's what Gamersan does when he has to switch the people out.
This actually reminds me of
Hey
Super
guys,
Mario
join here.
64. Remember Super Mario 64? When you go inside the paintings and it's a whole nother world? This is almost like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. So let's go find some other rooms. Who's got one? Okay.
So I have
Anybody
a
in
question
Metaverse?
about a room actually. Yeah, does anybody have the new metro station or the new mermaid? I would like to go by there if possible.
Yeah, we was
I
up there
got the
earlier.
metro station.
We was in there for like
Yeah,
30
I have the
minutes.
mermaid
we
from
just walked.
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Yeah,
there
I
was a
have
new
the
station
metro
came out today.
You have it?
I like the
This
Sphinx.
is the new metro?
I think the Sphinx is the best thing.
Yeah.
guys
All right,
can
Gamer,
get.
it was nice talking to you, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Have a
catch
good
you
one.
later, Dope Show. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to go. You guys follow you want.
All right.
Go check.
Where are we going?
We're following Gamersan, I guess. Where'd he go? Did he leave a token?
He didn't leave a token.
Jumped.
Guess you just gotta follow.
He says, I'm
Yeah.
gone.
He is offline. What's up?
Yeah, come in and have a look. Yeah, definitely.
There's a
Oh, there'll be some
boxing
people here now. Interesting.
room. Mhm.
Yeah, you're going to
Yeah,
be
something like that.
swarmed.
Shall I'll explain a little bit, perhaps. This
Which one's
is
you?
this
Not you.
which one's me?
Stop recording.
My son jet ski.